have this I think it's one of the weirdest things in the world that people are like, no bringing up politics or religion.
I was just going to say, politics.
Yeah. Well, those are the most important things in the world. Let's just not talk about things that matter. Yeah. Instead, let's only talk about the best fast food burger. I'll just talk about both. And I think you can do it with respect. I mean, we have talked about every controversial issue you can think of on my Twitch channel, with hundreds, if not thousands, of people watching, and 98% of the time, in the chat included, is super civil about it. It's one of the things I'm most proud of. Yeah, because we can meet people where they're at with love and have compassion when we have these conversations.
Today I'm super excited. I have Bearded Blevins. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. Super pumped.
Yeah, really glad you're able to come on and do the pod. So what we do to start things off, we do 3 random questions to get the juices pumping. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, first question. You can pick any Detroit sports team to win the next championship. What team are you picking?
Okay, I'm picking the Lions, but it isn't as obvious as it seems. I know there's Lions stuff everywhere, and I'm diehard with them. Because man, it would be really cool for the Red Wings to be good again. I love the Red Wings. They're my second favorite team. The Pistons have been bad forever, so it'd be great to have them. And if I could even switch it to Michigan, I'd love for the Wolverines to win one. But yeah, the Lions have never won a Super Bowl. They've won multiple championships.
Yeah, people
forget that. If they just called it the Super Bowl since its inception, the Lions would have 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've had multiple national championships in the 50s, and maybe even one earlier than that. But yeah, in the Super Bowl era, they haven't won one, and they haven't won a playoff game since I was 4 years old.
Oh,
that changes this year, my friend.
I've never been a Detroit Lions fan, but I've liked the players, Megatron, Barry Sanders. Even watching Hard Knocks last year, I was really I like the coach. You guys, and it's just, you guys looked like you had a good team.
I don't want to be that guy. I like to be really fair with a lot of teams. I like to, talk about the best parts of every team. I'm going to sound like the people I hate when I say this, but after Hard Knocks and the Lions being so bad for so long, I think that you're about to see a new America's team, my friend.
Nice. At the coach. I love the coach.
Yeah,
just his
everyone
attitude.
Does.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good find for you guys. All right. Second question. Best vacation you ever had?
Best vacation I ever. Does a honeymoon count?
Sure.
It's got to be the honeymoon then. And that feels weird because I've had amazing vacations with my wife. We have 3 kids. I've been married coming up 10 years here. And we've had amazing vacations in my whole life. I've had great vacations with my parents and brothers. But man, Aruba. I don't know if you've been. Have you been to Aruba?
No, never been down south that far.
It's 26 miles long. White sandy beaches, the water you can see through for miles and miles. It was unbelievable.
Nice.
It was unreal. We talk about going back quite a bit. We might do it for our 10-year. But man, Aruba with the wife was top tier. Food was great.
Yep. Excellent. Yeah. And the weather was fantastic, probably.
Unbelievable. There's one flaw, only one flaw. And it's that it's so windy and the sand is so fine that multiple times throughout the day you're just standing in the water and you'll just get whipped by the sand.
Oh, wow.
And it hurts quite a bit.
Yeah.
But it's just a couple times a day it happens. But otherwise, man, everything was perfect.
Excellent. All right. So third question, you're going out to your favorite place to eat. What are you ordering?
All right. So I'm thinking my favorite place to eat. My favorite place to eat is this little spot called, my favorite all time or favorite that I go to regularly?
Regularly, I guess. We'll go with regularly.
Okay. My favorite regular spot is a spot called Spears near me. It is a bourbon and burger spot. They have everything. They have steaks and everything that they make is good there, but they've got these wings. So I'm ordering their smoked crispy wings.
Oh.
I'm ordering weirdly enough, I'm ordering a side Caesar salad.
Okay.
And then I'm going to get a side of their mac and cheese, which is insane.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to get probably their coffee, bacon, bourbon burger.
Oh.
Yeah. Sliced in half with their really good fries. and a glass of nice bourbon.
Oh, nice. Now I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Normally I go steak. Steak's my favorite food of all time, but that's my spot. And they have burgers.
Nice. And you actually just reminded me of something. I had the founder of Gamers Outreach, and he is from Detroit, lives in California now, but he opened up a Detroit style pizza in LA. I'd never heard of a Detroit pizza before.
You haven't? So you've not tried one yet?
No.
Oh man. So Detroit pizza is the best of all time. It combines the best of every other type of American pizza, right? You've got the thickness of like the Chicago deep dish people like, the crispiness of like a thin crust that people like, the doughiness of the New York slice that people like. I think it's the perfect pizza. You got to try it. You got to try it. Even the bad stuff like Little Caesars, Jets Pizza, like you have those are around you certainly.
Jets.
Yeah. Check it out. Check out Jets. It's good enough, but then you go to like Buddy's or like those places downtown Detroit. Oh my gosh, it's unreal.
Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. So enough with the 3 rapid questions turned in a little bit longer, but that's all right.
Sorry, I'm a long-winded guy.
It's all good, man. So who is Bearded Blevins before you found the go live button and created content?
Man, that's a great question. Where do I start? See, I'm long-winded. You got me starting when I'm born.
Let's go. Well, if you want to start when you're born, that's fine. Some people start, when they leave high school or after college. You start wherever you want. It's your podcast.
So I very close with my family. My parents are great. I got 2 younger brothers, Chris and Ty, an adopted sister as well that we brought into the family kind of later on in life. She's just great. And, born and raised Catholic. Didn't go to Catholic school, but went to mass every single week. Had some great experiences, finding God throughout middle school and high school. When I was about 19 or 20, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I thought about sports broadcasting. I didn't care about school. I just wanted to date people. I was just going from long relationship to long, just trying to, I was just a romantic, man.
Yeah.
Notebook and Walk to Remember were like my favorite movies. I was a sap.
Oh man.
And I didn't care about school at all. Met this guy who kind of changed my life. He ended up becoming a priest and taught me a lot about the church and was like, hey man, you'd be good at teaching about this stuff. You should go consider it. So I did. I studied theology. I have my bachelor's and my master's degree in theology. And then I worked for 15 years in Catholic parish ministry. I did a lot of youth ministry and then youth and young adult and adult evangelization. Ended up getting hired to speak and travel around the world. At different conferences and events in different parishes, which was really fun. Met my wife while I was living in Wisconsin. We've got 3 beautiful kids, and I loved it. Everything that I did, I share all that because everything, God is very important to me. My faith is very important to me. My family is very important to me. My friends, sports, barbecue, and bourbon, kind of in that order.
Yeah.
Everything that I did during those 15 years allowed me to be good at streaming.
Yeah.
Everything. How to talk to a troll. There's trolls at your youth group all the time. How do you talk to the kid who acts up? Every single thing. I feel like God was preparing me to be, doing content creation.
Yeah.
So that's, did it part-time 5 years ago and launched it full-time about 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
But that was me before.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. And how about video games? Where did video games start in your life?
Yeah, I always feel like I'm giving a bad answer when people ask me about video games. I feel like I'm doing a disservice to video games because they were a big part of my life. I remember my grandma, my grandfather passed away when I was maybe 5 or 6, my dad's dad, and my grandma got remarried when I was maybe 9, 10, or 11. And I remember being at the wedding in her house. It was just in her house in Tennessee or Georgia, really small house. And there was nothing for us to do. We're little kids. And her neighbor was like, hey, I brought a Nintendo over. You guys can play Mario. And I just remember being like, this is the coolest thing. We're playing Mario, oh, this is so fun. I didn't want to stop. We never, my brothers and I never fought because we're just let's just take turns and have fun.
Oh, wow.
And so then, then Sega came out. And then, so really they were a big part of my life, but I was always into sports. Both my younger brothers were way more into video games than me.
Yeah.
But man, we played Pokemon growing up together and different RPGs like Final Fantasy and a game called Legend of Legaia. I got into a lot of the Madden stuff, and then Halo. I think Halo really was the game that got me and Xbox Live kind of came out right around the same time as Halo 2, right? And so we're playing against people, and when we found out we could play against real people online and rank up, that changed the game for my brothers and I.
Oh, okay.
But then I'd play for a long time, and then I'd go off to, and in summertime I wouldn't play at all. And then, and so I like video games a lot. But for me, as a content creator, like, it's such a minor part of what I do. For me, it's all about the community. So I love games. But I'm always talking to the chat the whole time when I'm playing.
So as a sports fan, you didn't dive into no couch co-op couch, beating down your brothers in Madden or hockey or anything like that?
So they wouldn't play a lot with me. I was a semi-professional Madden player. I don't know what that means. I played. I was high up on the Game Battles ranks.
Oh, wow.
Way back in the day, and I would win a couple of GameStop tourneys here and there that I would show up to with 20 people that would show up. It wasn't crazy. And I competed a little bit with Halo, but no, the only time I was ever like, I would drop the controller in Halo sometimes and hit both my brothers and then get back and then kill them. We did that. We did the LAN and we had friends over and stuff. But man, for me, it always felt like a secondary thing. You know what I mean? It was always about the hanging out with the friends and not about the game.
Over the years, what is your favorite game that sticks out?
My favorite, man. I love Fortnite. I really do. I've never played a game for this long. It's been 5 years-ish, 6 years. I've never played a game for this long that I still am interested in playing. So I got to give it credit. I feel like a nerd. I'm a 35-year-old man, and there's all these little kids that play this game, but I just love it. I think it's fun. You can be memey about it. Like, I do this heals only thing where I don't win with weapons. I win without weapons all the time, and it's super fun. Fortnite's probably up there for me. If I had to pick a second one, it'd probably Halo 3.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you ever got into that, but game battles, bro, when you could like log in for free and then like you submit a match and you're playing 1v1 on these maps and then someone accepts it and you're like, oh, someone accepted the game, and then you bring them in and it's so fun. The competitive part of it is a blast.
Oh, shoot. That's awesome. I recently didn't discover Fortnite until, I had a couple of content creators on it, and just the excitement they had is like, because I always thought, I've got 3 kids. My youngest, she's 13, and she's dreading the day that any of your friends find out I have a podcast with content creators on. She's, her life is going to be over. But so that the whole Fortnite thing, I just thought it was a young kids game, but then having Monster or Brave edits and swearing on, it's like, it's a fun game. The community is fantastic, and it's a blast to play.
Yeah, and I feel like the community is only getting better, which is actually kind of cool. You might think that it might be dying out or something, but I feel like it's kind of hitting its stride right now.
So now, what made you hit that go live button?
I did it maybe 7 years ago. I was starting to finally watch Tyler play. I never watched him play. Like, he would be on Justin TV back in our parents' basement. And I never really knew what he was doing. Like, I knew he was playing games and he was very good at games and I liked playing with him, but I didn't understand the whole live stream thing. It just felt like a hobby. And then maybe I started to understand it a little bit more about 7 years ago. He still hadn't, blown up yet. But he was doing well and he was able to pay the bills with it. And I was like, man, what? I like Madden. Maybe I can stream Madden. So I go live playing Madden, and I was good at Madden. And I'm playing the game, and 3 people show up. I thought way more would show up because of my Twitter. I had a decent Twitter following. I was like, 3 people show up. I'm talking to them, losing the game. If I'm playing the game to be better at the game, I'm not reading chat, and the only 3 people in there are roasting me for not reading the chat. I was like, this is harder than it looks. So I hit end stream, and I was like, I'm not doing this. Ain't for me. 2 years go by, Fortnite comes out. I kind of stopped playing video games. That's probably the longest in my life I didn't play games. Fortnite comes out. My buddy is working a new job, and he's available at nights now, and I miss him. So it's like, we both got kids. Let's reconnect and play Fortnite together and hang out and get all into it. Had a blast. Tyler starts kind of blowing up. I go to his house. I go to his house one day to talk to Jess. We're having a beer. It's like March Madness is happening. And Jess was like, have you ever thought about going live? I did 2 years ago, but I didn't like it. I didn't think I was good at it. She's like, I'll try it out now. And I did. And I bought everything. I came up with the name Bearded Blevins. And I was like, I'm just going to go live and be myself and see what happens. And it kind of like took off. And so I hit that go live button because I thought that I could, try to be a positive light into that Twitch world, which can sometimes be very trolly.
Oh, yeah.
And here we are 5 years later, and it's going well.
Oh, that's excellent. And now over the years, what's been some of the hardest things about, hitting that go live button and being a content creator?
At first, the hardest part is like, what if no one shows up?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes you have 100 people. Like when I first started, I was lucky, man. I was at the time, I think I was the fastest partnered streamer of all time.
Oh, wow.
No joke. Like obviously Tyler being Tyler, like he hosted me one time and I broke all the rules you needed for it. So I just applied and became partner within like a month. I know there are other people who are partnered, like famous people get partnered before they ever go live. But I got partnered pretty quick and was able to start making some money. But then, you take a couple weeks off. I didn't realize that was going to be a big deal. And you come back and there's like 4 or 5 people and you're like, man, there was hundreds of people in here. And now there's 4 or 5. And I had to kind of learn like, man, those 4, you got to put on a show and be entertaining for those 4 or 5 people. Like they think it's important to watch.
Yeah.
I think that's hard to learn. And advice I would give is like, imagine 4 or 5 people. You're like, oh, there's not that many people watching me. Imagine 4 or 5 people just behind you right now watching you play a video game.
Yep.
You'd be turning around, being like, are you having fun? Like,
right.
This is good, right? Like, can I get you anything? You want water? You want this is weird. Don't stop watching me. And it's cool. So I think to appreciate anyone who's in there. And then for me, I would say trolls, but man, the trolls don't really bother me.
Oh, good.
I think for me, probably the hardest part is making sure you stay in shape and finding time to be active because I'm sitting all the time now. And I got to make sure I'm taking care of myself.
Yep, absolutely. And, the other piece of that too, that's, a lot of the advice people who have been on talk about is, it's tough, but you have to be on because somebody's coming in for the first time. You have a small window to sort of keep their attention.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I try to focus so much on the chat.
Yeah.
Because I most of the time I am playing Fortnite. Sometimes I do barbecue streams and I'll do like a cigar stream or IRL stream. But I'm often playing Fortnite and I don't want to be a pro Fortnite player. Like I enjoy being competitive with it every once in a while and trying hard sometimes in this new ranked mode and stuff. Maybe a tournament here or there, but for me, like the growth that I think is necessary to have the impact on the culture in the world that I want to have won't happen on Fortnite.
Yep.
So yeah, you're right. Like those little 10, 20 seconds that you have, those 2 minutes to make that window, I'm trying to read every single chat during every single game.
Yeah.
And sometimes I have 1,000 people watching, my chat's flying. And it's hard to do that. So then you hope that the community you have built is doing a good enough job talking to them and making them feel welcome and all that. Right. And that's important too, is making sure you've got, some people in there welcoming the new people.
Yeah. And like you said, it's not about the video game. It's about the community you're building. You're almost like that, local little pub. You're the bartender. Everybody's coming in. It's a nice place to hang out and just, everybody's friendly towards each other.
100%. I actually compare it to that all the time.
Oh, okay.
It's like I love that you just said that because it is like Fortnite is like the bar.
Yeah.
Right. And like it's not so when I go to a bar, I'm not going to the bar because it's a bar. I'm going to the bar to hang out with whoever, to get some work done, hang out with a buddy who's there, even have a good conversation with the bartender.
Yeah.
The bar is just the secondary part. Same thing for me with Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly. Now you hit on something earlier. I always ask the people that have come on, they talk about, that first time you get rated, your community goes from X to triple X. That's, nothing really prepares you for that. That, like you said, when Tyler rated you, you went from X to, crazy number. How, were you like, holy crap at that point? Like, and chats flying by, or, were you used to that?
I have been nervous one time my whole life while streaming. I don't usually get nervous. Like I get nervous about the Detroit Lions, other sporting events, my kids like getting hurt. Like I don't get nervous about, I do a lot of public speaking. I don't get nervous about that. But one day I was streaming, I had 50, 60 people in my, and I'm streaming off at this point, I'm on like my kitchen table. My 2 kids are sleeping, they're babies. They're like in, 20 feet away. So I'm trying to be quiet. I'm streaming on an Xbox with like a horrible webcam, on a MacBook computer.
Yeah.
With my OBS. So this is like, that was my setup. And Tyler rated me one day with 59,000 people.
Holy crap.
This and he was averaging 100K sometimes around that time.
Yeah.
So 59,000 people. And I remember just sitting there and watching the chat fly and just being like, this is a stadium. This is now a stadium.
Exactly.
This went from like my living room, a packed living room, but my living room to a stadium. Holy, what do I say? Yeah. What do I do? And I was nervous. And that was the only time, I think I hit one really sick play immediately. Like I just made a really lucky snipe and everyone's like, oh my gosh, it runs in the genes. Like, and so that was cool because everyone's like, pog, 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 pog. And then I died immediately after, and everyone's like, you suck. And it was just like, oh my gosh, this is horrible. And so I figured like there's probably no shot I'll ever have that many people watching me play a video game ever again. Maybe other content I do. And so ever since then I haven't been nervous, but it was wild.
Oh, I bet. That's crazy. And over the years, what's been some of the highlights for you, since you hit that go live button?
For me it is the glory stories. I call them the good moments that the community shares with me.
Yeah.
So I've somebody just recently, they just got a tattoo with my logo on their arm.
On Twitter. Yeah.
And I was just like, no way. Like I looked at my wife and I was like, this is really cool. I feel very humbled. Like I feel like it would be wrong of me to be like, heck yeah, bro. Like more people should do this. Like it's not about me. It's about the community. However, like I know his story and I know he's been through a lot and I know that he credits our community to pulling him through some of the hardest parts of his life. And so for me, man, like that stories like that are really cool.
Yeah.
And there's other ones like it that I'm super, honored and humbled by. Those are the best parts. When I can make someone's day better, I'm down.
Yeah. Isn't it amazing how, 10 years ago or 15 years ago, you wouldn't think about, have this, virtual community where nobody really meets each other, IRL, but you have friendships that have developed and you have an impact on people like you were just talking about.
Yeah. And I love it. You're absolutely right. And lately when I went full time last 2 years, I have been able to do a lot of different meetups and I do a March Madness party that I invite everyone who wants to show up to. And that's been so cool too, is getting to meet the people like in real life is so cool.
Yeah. You say you've been going live full time for the last 2 years. Was there a certain moment where you can recall that made you say, yeah, I could take this full time, or was just a gradual increase of your community getting bigger and just, other things happening?
Yeah. I have to be one of the only people that I know of that did it the way that I did it. And I don't know if I would have been able to do it if I didn't do it this way.
Yeah.
So I have 3 kids. I live in the northwest suburbs of Chicago. It's not cheap to live here. My kids go to Catholic school. That's not cheap. I was making good money before I went full-time streaming. And I don't think people understand like how much money you don't make streaming. Like you have to be averaging honestly between like probably 3,000 and 5,000 viewers per second to be able to like live in upper middle class America as a streamer. And that sounds crazy. I'm like, maybe people think 50, 60, 70K is enough money to live on in most of America. Like that would not feed my family. Right. So I couldn't just take the risk because I have health insurance. My wife stays home. So what am I going to do? Well, I met a buddy who ended up becoming one of my business partners and we decided to turn it into a business. So we called it Little Flower Media. We actually had, an investor, not my brother.
Yeah.
And we started the company called Little Flower Media after Saint Teresa of Lisieux, who's a saint. And the idea was that we're going to use new media in order to try to make a difference online, to bring light into the darkness that the internet can sometimes be.
Yeah.
And that's going to be bigger than the stream. It's always going to be bigger than Bearded Blevins. And so that was the reason we were able to take the risk and take the next step in. Was because we had a little bit of security of at least we have a couple months of runway to grow the stream to where it needs to be able to, employ all 3 of us full time, including our editor, for the first 6 months to a year that we did that. Yeah. And then it's grown since then. And now it looks a little different. And if you want, we can go into that and how we made it successful. But it's been a crazy grind. It's been wild. And I feel like we're doing it differently than other people, not better, but differently than other people have done it.
Yeah. Yeah, something people don't realize, I don't believe, is like, to be a full-time content creator, what you give up from the typical job where you have 401k, you have health benefits, you can take sick days or vacation days. As a full-time content creator, you've got to try to wrap that into what you're doing, and you can't just rely it on just streaming live.
100%. For 2 years, this last 2 years, I have taken like 1 or 2 3-day vacations that were always over the weekend so that I wouldn't miss like 3 to 4 or 5 days of streaming. It's wild.
Yeah, absolutely. And now from from live standpoint, you have Twitch, and then from your, other content, what do you create content for? Do you focus on shorts and, sort of long form content as well?
Yep. So I've got a bunch of things in the works that I think are going to be really, really good. So in the last 2 years, we focused a lot on growing our TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and Instagram, and then doing so that would grow Twitch. That has worked quite well for us. Like we went from, I think we were at like, I don't know, 130,000 total followers when we went full time. And then I'm over 300K now. I think we're at like 100 or 200 or 300,000 impressions that year. And we were over 1 billion this year.
Oh, wow.
So it's grown well.
Yeah.
But it's all been working really well together to just continue to grow so we can get sponsorships and partnerships with companies we love so that we can continue to pay the bills and then continue to grow. We've got other long range stuff that we're working on, a couple of different podcasts, a master class that we're going to work on that we're going to be able to sell. And so there's other like bigger projects that what we've done so far has allowed us to grow big enough to then start working on those projects that I'm excited about.
Excellent. Yeah, I saw I saw on your webpage about Little Flower Media and also Bearded Beats. What's Bearded Beats?
So our editor Thomas Beshke, he works as a company called Pixel Pulse that he just started a couple months back. He does all our shorts. I've been working with this kid since he was like 15. Back in the day, it's been really cool. He's a good friend of mine. He had this idea that we would work with people to create beats that would be copyright free music that we would own that other creators could use and not worry about DMCA strikes.
Oh, cool.
There's one other creator that I forget the name of who like does this pretty successfully. And it can be a very good revenue stream if it grows, but also just a way to kind of help out the community, especially new streamers who are like, they get 100 followers. Like I just got DMCA striked with 3 people watching. What can I do? And so we're like, let's create this thing. So Thomas had the idea, we backed it, and we just released another album today. And it's super fun. It's a cool thing to be a part of, but man, I really am kind of like in the back seat with that project.
Yeah. Okay. Well, all right. Then Little Flower Media, you talked a little bit about that. So let's talk about, that sort of that business.
Yeah. So the idea, we're actually going through, I can't share too much in detail right now, but we're going through kind of maybe I could say we're going through a bit of a merger, which is going to be really cool. Likely with one of our investors that I'm really excited about. It's going to allow us to branch out, reach out to to work with more content creators directly, to bring people into being able to do content creation full time that otherwise might not feel like they could.
Yeah.
And then create different ways for them to grow and help them out.
Oh, excellent.
Different than what Oni Studios is doing.
Yeah.
If you're maybe catching some similarities, they're different than that. And definitely with a little bit of a Catholic flair to it.
Yeah.
Being kind of the priority of just having that be a part of it. Yeah.
Oh,
but man, we're working on a podcast right now that is really going to be geared towards parents with Little Flower Media. And it's going to be helping parents navigate parenting their children in this digital world. Like, how do you keep your kids safe online?
Yeah.
And it's not meant to be doom and gloom of the internet's horrible, so just don't let your kids be on there. But here's what movie reviews and video game reviews and my advice on what age would I let kids do what at certain things. And I think that could be a really cool thing.
Oh, absolutely. So not a focus on, helping parents with esports athletes, but just helping parents with this digital medium that they may not have any clue about.
Yeah, I would say like I have a lot of friends who, are young parents. Most of them do not know, if their kid plays Fortnite, let's just use Fortnite as an example. Let's say they're 8-year-olds playing Fortnite. Their parents don't know that they could, use their microphone and pop in and play a random squad fill and be talking to random strangers for hours at a time.
Yep.
They have no idea. Like, they don't know. What are they going to do? Log in and look?
Right.
Most of them don't.
Yeah.
And so just giving little advice like that. Or most parents don't know that, like, Call of Duty, you can, turn off the blood.
Yeah.
And turn off the language. And
or
if you
Roblox. There's a whole dark side of Roblox that, parents have no clue about, I'm sure.
Yeah, 100%. And so finding ways to help them to let their kids, not get their kids away from those things. I mean, those horrible things for sure.
Right.
But not to say you can never be on your phone or you can never watch YouTube, but how do you let them, how can you use those tools to make your kids' lives better instead of worse?
Yeah. Oh, excellent.
I'm excited about the potential of that project.
That's cool. And then a couple other things. You have Around the Halo and Pardon the Intercession.
Yeah. We just did Pardon the Intercession tonight. So those are talk shows based off of the 2 really big ESPN shows over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Around the Horn and Pardon the Interruption.
Oh, Around the Horn. Okay, I was trying to get that, but Pardon the Intercession, yes, but okay, Around the Horn.
Yeah, and so the idea is that like, yeah, there's like we run the show very similarly. There's topics, and we've got guests that are pretty prominent in their different Catholic respective fields and social media, and we get together and we talk about it and share our takes on what current issues are happening in politics. I have this I think it's one of the weirdest things in the world that people are like, no bringing up politics or religion.
I was just going to
It's
say, like politics.
Yeah. Well, those are the most important things in the world. Like let's just not talk about things that matter. Yeah. Instead, let's only talk about the best fast food burger. I'll just talk about both. And I think you can do it with respect. I mean, we have talked about every controversial issue you can think of on my Twitch channel, with hundreds, if not thousands, of people watching. And 98% of the time, in the chat included, is super civil about it. It's one of the things I'm most proud of. Yeah, because like we can meet people where they're at with love and like have compassion when we have these conversations.
Wow, I did not expect. I would, when you were talking about you're doing this live on Twitch, I could only imagine the trolls and people, but to say 98%, that's amazing right there.
Yeah, it's been really cool. And people will be like people who are friends in the community will argue with each other in a loving way.
Yeah.
And then be like, I appreciate you. Thanks for sharing. Never thought of it like that. All right, we'll move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Because
I feel like the world needs to get back to that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Because right now everybody's hesitant. You go somewhere at a party or somebody's backyard cookout, you're really cautious about what topic you will bring up or you would add something to. Just, you don't know.
Yeah. And I think we got to get away from that. Like, I think you should be able to say something. Someone should be able to have a visceral reaction, and then you can be like, "Oh, it's all good." Like, okay, we don't have to talk about it, but like, we can agree to disagree. It doesn't have to be this like we hate each other thing because we disagree.
Yep. Oh, excellent. Cool.
And so those shows, we do that. We have, and chat seems to really enjoy it. We have a lot of fun with it. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. All right, and then the other thing, you have the Bearded Blevins stream team.
Yes. So those two guys, Bearded Marco and Bearded Magic, those are my business partners that we started this with.
Yeah.
For the hope was that when we went live together, 6 years ago, I was live probably 60 to 70% of the time by myself, but the other 30%, they would join in, and they're such a great part of the community. My community embraced them right away. But we learned pretty quickly that you can't just like lift somebody up into being like a viral content creator.
Yeah.
Right. So just in the startup business world, it didn't make sense for them to be using their time to be live, as often as they were live at the time. So Marco, a great friend of mine and original founder with me of Little Flower Media, still part of the company, but has often doing his own kind of thing right now. And then Magic, my buddy Matt, he just flipped his role completely and kind of became like the chief operation officer of Little Flower Media.
Yeah.
He does a lot of the project management of what we're doing, managing the deals. Let me know when I need to post on my different social media stuff. Does some video editing as well. He's kind of a jack of all trades.
Oh,
cool. Does the finance part. So that's kind of, it started off as like, we're going to be the Bearded Blevins stream team. And then we just realized that when I was doing solo stuff, the numbers grew so much that it just made sense to do more of that.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. All right.
Yeah.
So normally I would ask, the Fortnite content creators on, what was your path to Fortnite? But it's, probably through Tyler.
It is. It's Tyler, and then just the virality of it at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, as I mentioned earlier, like I was not playing video games for 1 or 2 years before Fortnite. And then it came out and I was like, this looks too complicated for me to learn.
Yeah.
But it was still so new when I finally did try it. Like, man, I had so much fun. I'd never played I love the idea of a battle royale. 100 people, last one standing. And I would just land at this house outside of Greasy Grove.
Yeah.
And I would literally loot that house and then hide under the stairs until at the absolute last second. With traps everywhere. And like, I just remember like hearing footsteps and being like, like having the biggest like heart races I've ever had playing a video game. It's like, oh my gosh, they're here. Am I have to fight? I don't know. And I just like, man, it was so fun. And that's what started with me, that, and then watching Tyler kind of blow up at it.
Yeah.
But man, I've just really enjoyed like every single stage of Fortnite so far.
Cool. So 2 things on that one. First of all, would you say that's the hook Fortnite had on you? Is just sort of like, those pulse pumping moments?
Yes. I have to, Fortnite, would it probably be fair to say that Fortnite's probably one of the most addicting video games of all time?
Yeah.
I mean, do you think of like Candy Crush and like how many people got addicted to Candy Crush? I feel like Fortnite was like, let's make a video game that's as addicting as Candy Crush. Crazy bright colors, amazing sounds.
Yeah.
Open a chest and it's like, bring, all the re-rolling. I'm re-rolling every single day right now, dude. I'm losing all my gold every single day on stream re-rolling. And that's part of it, I'm sure. But the other part for me was, just like the suspenseful moments and like being a part of the clips that were going viral on Reddit and Twitter was super fun.
Oh, cool. And then the other piece I was going to follow up was, what was it like, for you and the family to see Tyler's growth and popularity as, like as a gamer or streamer? Who would have thought that, people can grow to that bit, to that, stardom and how popular it can be.
Yeah, none of us expected that. We all knew that he could spend the rest of his life doing whatever he wants, whether that's playing video games, streaming, still opening up an esports team, whatever. We knew that like Tyler was very good at what he does and that he's going to make it. We even thought he could make it streaming, but we didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
Nobody thought he was going to be on Jimmy Fallon or, Ellen's show or like Times Person of the Year, all these things that had happened. I think right after he played with Drake for the first time, he was on like CNN Business or something.
Oh my God.
And like the next day, and like he's like texting, he's like, "Hey, I'm going to be on the show," and we're like, "What?" And it was very surreal, but we were just all super proud.
Nice.
And I can't really think of one moment where we're like, "Oh my gosh, now he's super famous."
Yeah.
It just kind of has been a gradual thing.
Cool.
And it's been a mostly positive thing.
Yeah.
Comes with some negative stuff, but it's been mostly positive, and we're just super proud of it.
Nice. And the negativity will be there whatever you do in life. It's just there's a percentage of negativity you'll face, whether a normal job, Twitch streaming. It's a part of life, and unfortunately.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So now, from a Fortnite standpoint, what do you think they've done to keep the game as popular as as it is? It just keeps gaining more popularity and drawing people in.
I was gonna say that it's listening to their fan base, the people who play, but lately they've just not been doing that. The ranked idea, genius idea, not allowing like siphon and those kind of things. When most players are like, "Hey, please put this in." Fortnite just does their own thing, and the crazy thing is they're so good at doing their own thing that it just keeps working.
Yeah.
Right? You think about the last year, like they brought in Unreal Engine, right? And then they had the spider webs mechanic back in the day was super cool, and now it's even better. And then they bring in ODM gear and the hammer movement and the sword, and they got rid of the hammer, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is gonna be lame." And then the sword came out, and they're like, "Oh, this is sick." And then today they vault the swords, and everyone's like, "What the heck?" Right? But then they're going to fix it. They're going to do something else that everyone's going to be like, "Oh, okay, it's back to being fun again." So they continue to do what they want. I do think they do listen to they removed that one super OP thing, the big mega sword, over that was called.
Yeah.
They got rid of that pretty quickly. But man, they just continue to rebrand themselves all the time, and it just keeps working.
Yeah.
Which I feel like any other company, it would not. But for some reason, Epic just keeps hitting it out of the park.
They do. And I think another piece why they're successful is the IPs they bring in. Like, they brought, adding Star Wars makes my son jump into it. I jumped into it because we're a huge Star Wars fan. Like, oh, we got to get Darth Maul. And so you just start playing it and grinding it. Things like that.
Yep. Yeah. I never think about that, but you're absolutely right. Like I Star Wars is fun for me. I don't love it, but I like it. I haven't been. Batman was probably the one I was most excited about, and now I don't ever wear that skin. If they do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, I'll freak out.
Or how about a legendary Detroit Lions team or something like that? All of a sudden you got Barry Sanders.
Super sick.
Exactly.
Yeah, super sick.
What was your take when they came out with they started doing the no bills modes of play?
Oh man, at first it was funny. At first Tyler was like, my brother was like, "Dude, you're not gonna be good at this. Like, you have to be even more accurate, like builds, stay on builds." And I was like, "No way, dude. I'm not that good at building. Like, I'll be fine." And so for me, I loved it. Like even the playing field with snipers, for me, like the best chance I'm going to get at killing somebody who's 10 times better than me is if I snipe him in the face.
Yep.
I do that pretty often, which is a lot of fun. So I think no builds is a blast. And again, just another genius move by Fortnite, and they're not dumb. They're not going to take away no builds. It's there to stay forever now.
Yeah.
But man, I think it's been a blast.
Yeah, I'm right with you. Like where my podcast started from was Escape from Tarkov community, and we go ups and downs with what they do with their wipes, and they hit a low point, and Fortnite came out with their no bills mode. there were so many Tarkov content creators that all of a sudden jumped back to, you had Lupo going over to playing Fortnite again, you had Ames, and it just sort of gave it you don't have to be a crazy builder to jump in and have fun in this game.
100%. And the skill-based matchmaking, although a little flawed, it helps as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. Now, anything you think you'd like them to add to the game?
I think I always get annoyed when they add too much. Just yesterday, right? We had ODM gear, swords, and spider webs. It's like, okay, that's too much. And then lightsabers. 2 days ago, it was the lightsabers, swords, and ODM gear.
Yeah.
I don't. What would I like them to add? Maybe a self revive. I think could be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If they did that, or maybe they add like a bus, a revive van that you can just as an item that's like super rare and you can throw it down and res your teammate anywhere. Like I think that could be a little bit fun.
Yeah.
And then I don't know about adding to the game, but I think if they could find a way, I heard a rumor 2-3 years ago when the new Halo was going to release that they were going to have a battle royale mode that had like 75 players in it. Or let's just call it. Let's call it 100 players.
All right.
Whatever. Make it even. I'm bad at math. And then you're gonna have 3 lives. Right. So let's use duos as an example. So because I'm bad at math. So you've got 50 teams of 2 on a person lobby, but everyone gets 3 lives. Well, all of a sudden, if everyone gets 3 lives, you've got 300 people in that lobby. Right.
Oh yeah.
But the server isn't freaking out because it's really only 100 people.
Yep.
How can you if Fortnite did something like that as a game mode where all of a sudden like it's just kind of a little bit more chaotic and there's no bots and there's people everywhere? I think that could be super fun.
That would be crazy. Yeah, that's a great.
Halo never did it, so I don't know where that rumor came from, but I like the idea.
Yeah, that is cool. And now, when it comes to playing Fortnite, who's your crew you normally roll with?
I do a lot of solos.
Yeah.
But just because it lets me talk to chat the most, right? Yeah. When I'm doing duos or trios or squads with someone, rest in peace trios, I focus more on the content I'm creating with the people I'm playing with instead of the chat. And chat likes that, but like my bread and butter is talking to the chat. Yeah. So I play, I do once a week Family Fortnite Friday with Tyler, and that has become a really fun thing that people really enjoy. Yeah, that's fun. I've been playing a lot lately with Headshot Chick. Yeah. Who is just like one of the kindest human beings on the planet. God.
Isn't she? She's wonderful. Yeah. Yep.
She's unreal, and our vibes are perfect. She's like a little sister. But she's just great. Love games with swearing, Squatting Dog. And then some other people like from my community that I really enjoy. Sancho and I keep talking about getting games in, and we haven't done it. Yeah. Brave never plays, but I love him. But yeah, that whole crew of people. Kimmel, I really like Kimmel quite a bit, who owns Midnight Energy with me. He's a good dude. But yeah, those are my guys.
Excellent.
And my gal.
That's how
the Bonsai Bros back in the day.
Those guys are crazy. Okay, so how I jumped into the Fortnite community was through Monster D Face and Brave, and then through Swearing, and then Swearing was talking about bonsais. Like, who are these bonsai guys? And then, oh my God, that energy they have is just out of it's insane.
Yeah, they're wild.
Yeah, and that's how I found you. Was I think you were playing with Swearing one day. I was like, oh, who's this Bearded Blevins guy? All right, cool. All right, let's reach out and get you on. So that's how you ended up here.
That's cool. Yeah, Swearing's a vibe. Dude. I love him.
Oh man, yeah. Last year when he went, took it full time, and that when he made that announcement, it was just fantastic. Such a good guy.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's from he's northern like you. He's from Wisconsin, I think. Or
yeah, unfortunately he's a Packer fan. We'll let him slide.
All right, that sounds good. So now, do you go to any TwitchCons or the PAXs or anything like that?
I've been to 2 TwitchCons. One right when Ty blew up. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was him, Lupo, Tim the Tapman. Oh, shoot. Maybe Nick Merckx, I think, was there. And they were all like at the peak. Courage. And it was fun just to hang with those guys. I had just become partner, so it was cool to be there as a partner too, and like meet some people from my community. Yeah, that was a blast. And where was that? That was in San Jose. And then I went to TwitchCon last year in San Diego. Yeah. That was the last one the next one I went to, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, that's the only. I haven't gone to any of the other big gaming ones. Yeah. because like it doesn't seem like a good investment for our business. Like, you know, like there's not a lot. We can do meetups of our own.
Yeah.
Like anytime we travel, and I travel quite a bit. But man, in a perfect world, I'd be going to DreamHack next week.
Yes. Yeah. That sounds like it's going to be a blast. I was actually had Reddish on a few weeks ago, and she's got an invite to go play there. She's pretty excited about that. Yeah. And now, you know, when you step away, actually, first of all, how would you describe your, you know, somebody's coming into your stream for the first time. What are they expecting?
Man, joy. Like I'm, even when I'm not feeling it, I'm feeling joy. So they're going to get joy. They're going to get laughs. I'm going to sing a little bit. I'm going to make 3 of the best Fortnite plays you've ever seen in your life. And then for 3 straight hours, not finish top 80. And get roasted by my entire chat and community, which I love. You know, and you know, at Thursday nights, you're gonna get Thirsty Thursdays. We're having a couple of bourbons and just having fun and doing some random duo fills. And you're gonna get a lot of sports talk and a lot of hot takes on food.
Excellent. All right. And you know, to sort of piggyback that, how would you describe your community?
Oh man, they're all. It's funny because I'm probably older than most of them. It's an older-ish community, like 25 to 40 for sure. Of course, you've got all ages, but 25 to 40 is probably the main. But I feel like they all treat me like I'm the little bro, which is a little weird. Yeah. So it's like only they can make fun of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're the most loving, supportive, incredible, generous community of all time, and every one of them roasts me. But if some stranger comes in and roasts me, they will go at you in a loving way. Like they're not gonna like they're not dropping curse words and whatever. Like they're saying, you know, like forget you, the mods aren't deleting. I tell people, do not ban people right away. I don't care what they say unless it is racist or anti-Semitic or like something like that.
Yeah.
Give them another chance. If they're coming in there and they're like, John, lose weight, fatty, do not ban them. Let me talk to them and you know, nobody who's living a joyful life goes online and says that stuff.
No.
Right. So like let's talk about it. Why are you feeling that way? But they're like, Johnny, let me get him. Let me get him. And it's like, no, guys. They're the only ones who control me, you know?
Nice. All right, a little sports talk here. So you can go to any 3, you know, say football, hoops, hockey. What is your preferred sport to go watch live?
Funny, we talked about that tonight on stream.
Oh, shoot.
No, that's perfect. This is great because it's top of mind. I mean, I don't go to a lot of hockey games, but hockey's my favorite sport to watch live.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, bro, I've been to a few. It's unreal. You get close to the boards and just the action and the banging on the boards and the checking that happens. A blast. But I absolutely go to way more football games. I go to 1 or 2 Michigan games a year, 1 or 2 Lions games every year. And then man, lately I like college basketball too.
Yep.
You know, March Madness is fun.
March Madness is crazy. Yeah, I've been to one. We had tickets for a Patriots and Jets game, you know, years ago. Great seats, you know, VIP parking. We had the buffet beforehand, but nothing compares to hockey live. You know, like the speed, the hits, the chatter that's going on, the chippiness. It's just such a great sport live. Yeah,
it's unreal, man. Yeah, chirping.
Yeah, and yeah, the other like here we talked earlier. I'm in Connecticut near Hartford. We have the farm team for the Rangers. So to take the family to see a hockey game, it's under $100 for a family of 4. You get, you know, sodas and it's perfect, man. And the hockey's awesome. Great caliber too.
That's not the Hartford Whales, right?
Well, we lost the Hartford Whalers to the Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
they're playing tonight.
They're playing tonight. Yes.
Yeah. Are they winning?
I don't know. I think are they down 3-0 or 2-0?
Yes, they have to win tonight's must-win hockey, bro.
Yes.
They're down 1 with 5 minutes.
Oh wow.
All right, we'll see what happens.
That's crazy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Playoff hockey is the best too. And at the end of it, you know, just the lining up, shaking hands, just, you know, good fight. Yeah. There's nothing else. I'm Canadian, so I got to, you know, it's got to be my favorite sport.
Love it, man.
So now, you know, when you're not streaming, creating content, you know, what do you like to do? You know, what do you and the family like to do? Do the kids play games too?
So not yet, man. Yeah. They're 8, 6, and 3. Oh, okay. Two boys and a girl. You know, they're right now. Man, my wife and I complain about this all the time. Like we actually might homeschool next year, just because man, they're so young and like they're gone for 9 hours a day. Mm-hmm. Like they're sitting in a classroom for that long. It's just wild. So we're thinking about that. But you know, so they don't game yet because when they get home, They have their sport, and then they have their homework, and then they shower, and then we read books, and it's bedtime.
Oh,
Right?
nice.
My kids go to bed at 7. They wake up at 6:30.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So not a lot of time for video games. And then on the weekends, like I'm gaming all week. So the last thing I want to do is play games. So we're playing sports outside and hanging out. So they don't quite game yet. Little Pokemon Go with me here and there.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get them into some games as they get a little older here. Looking forward to that.
Now, are they athletes? So you say some of them are playing sports?
Yeah, they love sports so far, man. I mean, they're still so young, and I just want them to do it if they love it. I love sports, so I try not to be like a huge influence about it. Like I want them to do what they want to do, but also because I love it, they love it. So they play football, soccer, basketball.
Nice.
And we're not crazy. We're not driving them all over Kingdom Come at 8, 7, 8, 6, and 3 yet, but we let them play the sports they want to play, and we play a lot outside. So.
Excellent.
So yeah, what do I like to do with them, dude? We're reading books or playing sports. That's about it.
Yeah.
And then my wife and I work 3-4 nights a week, so my wife and I get 3-4 nights a week together. We're watching our Netflix shows, playing some card games. Having good conversations. I love to cook.
Yeah.
I'm the cook in the house, so I make dinner every night. And then my hobbies, bro. I'm watching sports. Smoking cigars. Having bourbon and doing barbecue for sure.
All right. So what's on the Netflix playlist when it comes to TV time with the wife?
We're watching Ted Lasso right now.
Oh, dude, that's so good.
I wept last night.
What season are you in?
Last night's episode. We're caught up. So we're on. We just watched the second to last episode last night.
Oh.
And it is a tearjerker. It's funny because Swearin and we text about that show all the time.
Nice.
Every Tuesday night we're texting about it, which is fun. So that's good. Man, what else? Like we watch Blacklist, Blue Bloods, and then I watch my shows when I travel, like all the Viking shows that I love.
Yeah. And
then she watches all her like Bridgerton and the prequels to that when she's watching stuff by herself.
Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, that Ted Lasso, that first season was just so good. It just every episode just made you feel good, and it's like you wish you could just watch those again with just an empty memory on those.
100%.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. And now so enjoy your kids because my oldest is 22 and I've got one at 20 and then 13. Dude, first 10 years they'll fly by and you're like, holy cow, how did that happen? And the next 10 will go even faster.
So you're just encouraging me to homeschool. Appreciate that.
Dude,
more time with them.
Yep, absolutely. And then I'm jealous of you because you got a couple of athletes there. It took my third child who just last year she discovered a love for volleyball, which is my sport, and finally, after so many years, I finally got an athlete, and it's so good.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I'm not that guy on the side. My wife actually, it's funny, like. She'll be on the sideline like yelling like come on Caleb, go, and I'm like babe like he's 8, let's relax here. But I'm that guy methodical in the back watching every single move so that at the end I can be like, you want to talk about what you did well and what you can do better, and my boy's like, yep. I'm like, all right,
nice,
you did this and this perfectly, buddy, well done. We're gonna get home, we're gonna practice these 3 things.
Excellent.
I love it.
Cool. So now, when it comes to content creators, anybody out there who's flying under the radar or people should check out?
Ooh, that's a good question. So all the homies that I just mentioned, Swearing, Squatting Dog, Headshot Chick, Kimmel, those guys are they're top tier. They're good at what they do.
Yeah.
And so I would say they're flying under the radar because they should be bigger. They're big. They're some of the biggest creators in Fortnite, but they should be bigger.
Yep.
Versa is a cool dude, very good at Fortnite. There's a guy named Mr. Ticken who's a stream sniper for me and Tyler for a long time. He's pretty funny, pretty good at what he does. And I got a buddy, named Riddle Nerd, who's a mod in my community who does a lot of mental health streams and does some Rocket League and some Fortnite. Who's good. So I want to shout out like all my buddies. I'm trying to think of one really good Fortnite creator who I think is, or just content creator in general, who I think should be like massive. That isn't yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd probably say Headshot Chick.
All right. Yep. Absolutely. She is.
She's good at the game. She's family friendly, which I have friends. Swearing's not. Love swearing. Don't care. Love them. I don't have them on when my kids are around. No big deal.
Right.
Often my kids are at school, so I get to watch them. Love swearing. But I do think that when you do bring in the family friendly aspect, it obviously has a chance to grow your audience, because then parents will let your kids watch. And she should have thousands of viewers.
Yeah, absolutely.
She should have thousands of viewers.
Yeah, she's so entertaining. Her community is very welcoming. She's good at the game. It's just, absolutely agree, 100%.
Oh, talks in the chat.
Yeah. And hey, congratulations. You've got your own little tournament happening tomorrow, right? Fortnite, Estride?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. We've it's the first time I'm doing one with them. I don't know how people are going to join. You just have to join their Discord, but I'm pumped. I'm playing with my buddy Kimmel. So we're going to represent Midnight Energy, and I'm going to get stream sniped for sure, I'm sure, and just absolutely rocked.
Yeah.
But I'm going to try to find some snipes and some movement and see what we can do.
Excellent. All right. And hey, speaking of like sponsors, any sponsors you want to give a shout out to who's been there for you guys?
Bro, University of St. Thomas in Houston, first Catholic university to ever sponsor a Twitch channel. This is, you're not asking me about advice later, are you?
We can do it now. Either way.
Well, like
it's
the
your
only
pod.
advice, the advice that I would give, because I know you mentioned earlier some advice, like every one of the sponsors that I have, except for Midnight Energy, is I'm the first person they've ever partnered with on Twitch. I feel like a lot of content creators are reaching out to like Logitech and all these other like obvious sponsors. Like if you spend 20, 30 hours a week messaging people defending a reison why they should check you out. We're the new billboards, all that stuff. Like spend money here. It's crazy some of the deals that I have, and it's beneficial for me and also for the company. So University of St. Thomas in Houston, first Catholic school to ever partner with a streamer. Two Classic Tees. I'm the first person that they've ever sponsored on Twitch and partnered with. Net Ministries, a Catholic organization. We've got two more that we're announcing that I'm the first one with them as well. Pixel Pulse, which is the people we use for video games.
Yeah.
Midnight Energy is unbelievable. I drink 2 a day. I love it. It's healthy. It's good. I feel like I'm forgetting one, but those sponsors have been massive for what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And I'm super excited. I turned down a lot of sponsorships because I don't want to sell out. I don't want to, it's some casino company.
Right.
It's just not, I like gambling, bro. I love gambling. I'm not going to spin slots on my stream when kids are watching.
Right. Yeah.
And so I'm turning down deals that would help the business. And it's because of the brands I just mentioned that are partnering with us that I'm able to turn those down.
And now the university partnership, that's, they have an esports team.
They do. They have an esports team, but then also it's a Catholic university, so I do a lot of other content with and for them.
Yeah.
I've been to the campus quite a bit, but they've got an esports team that's very good at League of Legends.
Oh, cool. Yeah, so in my other job, we do a lot of technology for schools and corporate and whatnot. And some of the schools like the Quinnipiacs, the University of New Haven, they have esports teams, and we're talking Division I, full on, which I think is so cool because now you don't have to be an athlete to wear the school colors and participate and feel part of the school.
That's a good way to put it, man. That's a good way to put it, because I don't love using the word athlete for esports people. I just don't. But you're right. Like the part that matters is that they feel like they're representing the university in the same way.
Yeah.
That's a cool way to look at it.
You got your University of Michigan, the gold and blue. Now the sport and the jersey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, I got to ask you, what was the experience like to be on Family Feud?
It's surreal. It's surreal. I will say this. There's a big difference between Family Feud and Celebrity Family Feud.
Yeah.
Celebrity Family Feud, you get a green room, you get makeup, you get fine wine and dessert and food.
Yeah.
Regular Family Feud, bro, you get bagels that are dry with frozen cream cheese. Yeah, so we did regular Family Feud before Tyler ever blew up. We did regular Family Feud. We did really well. And then we got invited back to Celebrity Family Feud after he blew up and played against Juju Smith-Schuster's family and beat them.
Yes.
Both times were a blast, but man, the difference. Like they treat you well on the original episodes.
Yeah.
But you're not eating well. You're there all day. Celebrity Family Feud, bro. They send a limo to the hotel. Like it's kind of nice. Yeah.
Nice. And now, when you guys won the celebrity one, what was the charity for that?
You know what? It was. I want to say that it was a military gaming charity.
Oh, okay.
It's been so long.
Yeah, no. When I was doing the research, I saw
Tyler's charity. It was Tyler's
okay.
like idea and his charity, and he was the celebrity on Celebrity Family Feud. So, but I'm pretty sure it was like a gaming veterans organization, which is awesome.
Cool. And any charities you support with your stream or in your content?
Yeah, I try to support as many Catholic crisis pregnancy centers as I possibly can, right?
Yeah.
Women who are just going in, who are scared, don't know what to do, they can't afford, any diapers or ultrasounds or all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they just, any way they can support them, they do. And then there's this awesome group called the Franciscan Sisters of the Eucharist out here in Chicago, who are living like in the most dangerous part of downtown Chicago. And they're just loving their neighbors and helping people get off the streets. And they're awesome. So I try to support them in any way that I can as well.
Oh, that's so cool. All right. Well, hey, Jon, you survived the podcast. I thank you so much for doing it. But before you go, I have to ask you to call out somebody that in your circle or you think has a good story that could come on and share their origin story.
Ooh, dude, you gotta interview Kimmel.
Okay. All right. Kimmel.
Did you know him?
No, I don't. After this, I'm going to go check him out.
Find him on Twitter. I can send him to you. If I tell him to do it, he'll do it. Bro.
All right.
Kimmel is awesome. He was big on Facebook.
Yeah.
But he's also doing a bunch of other really cool stuff. Cool. So he's somebody you got to check out.
Excellent. All right, Kimmel, we're coming for you. And before you let you go though, again, any thing coming up this year you want to, you got any goals, anything you want to people should keep an eye out for?
I'm excited to see what I don't want to be known as a Fortnite guy. Again, I don't want to disrespect Fortnite. I love what Fortnite has allowed me to do. I do. It's been a big part of the growth I've had for sure. I love it. I'm thankful for it. I will continue to play. But I'm going to be doing a lot more variety streaming and not video game variety. Just a lot more like IRL stuff, barbecue and meats, random bourbon tastings and cigars and conversations. And I'm really looking forward to how that expands the community over the next year.
Awesome. Fantastic. Well, best of luck to you. And hopefully, maybe down the road, we'll get you back on.
That sounds good, my friend. You were great. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.